am APAP.
I am APAP.
I am APAP.
I am APAP.
Association
Of Performing Arts
Professionals.
I am APAP. I am APAP.
I am APAP.
Presenters.
Producers,
Performers.
Promoters,
Prototypers.
Provocateurs.
Peer Support.
Possibilities,
I am APAP.
I am APAP.
I am APAP.
Artists,
Educators.
Mentors,
Board member.
Agents.
risk takers,
Managers.
students, colleagues,
Partners.
community.
Family.
I am APAP.
I am APAP.
I am APAP.
我来自 APAP. Je suis APAP.
Yo sono APAP.
Ich bin APAP.
私は APAP です。
Soy APAP.
We are APAP. We are APAP.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nomadic.
Thank you so much. It is an honor to be here. Happy Martin Luther King Day. As a Canadian, I get to celebrate some of the freedoms that he has established in Canada and in North America. And it is beyond an honor to be here as a refugee, as somebody who is from Somalia and does contribute to North America and arts. And so to be welcomed here has been tremendous, and it's been an honor to be among you. And so I just wanted to share a quick, brief poem with you. But before I do that, I have a lot of family and friends who sometimes don't believe what I do. And so I wanted to take a quick Instagram of you. And so there is a thing that we do really quickly. I'm from a group called the Breath in Poetry Collective. The quote is from late poet Muriel Rukeyser. And the quote is, "We breathe in poetry, we exhale experience." That is what is going on every day. And so I want you to try something with me, and I'm going to record it. I want you to put up your fist like this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and all you have to say is breathe. And the idea behind that is you give me all of your energy, and I'll give it right back to you in a poem, but then my family knows that I didn't make that up, and that is actually happening right now. And so, fist up. 3, 2, 1. Breathe. Fantastic. I told you it's true. Okay. I have a dream that we will no longer stray from the path of progress to unite humanity under the umbrella of love and equality, that these reigns associated with the age of mental oppression will finally cease, even with major opposition. I have a dream that one day the world will value a colorless point of view, and that a religion of millions isn't defined by the actions and characters of a few, and that we will adjust our visions until we can clearly see that we are headed nowhere with this point of view that is saturated by hate and stained by blood. I have a dream that we will value a welcoming point of view, and that freedom will become abundant, and that freedom will not remain a concept, but will manifest into reality, and not only freedom of choice or religion or sexual preference, but freedom from institutions which render us slaves to debt. I have a dream that one day the keys to opportunity will be made of individual merit, not fabricated truths and favoritism, where all are held accountable, and that those who do account for the majority of the world's wealth will share in the fruits of success with those who they consider inconsequential and whose opportunities have become buried. I have a dream that we will finally grasp the truth of community and rise as equal and live out the true meaning of unity. I have a dream which is already a truth, but has been masked by falsehood, that we all share in mortality, so who shall stand of us as exalted? I have a dream that my offspring and their offspring will live in a world where all are equal, where we celebrate each race and religion every month, and that we were all common understanding, and that we will embrace opportunity, success as a common understanding, and that kids will celebrate each other with love and opportunity. I have a dream that shall not remain a dream which will be carried upon by all of you, and us to live out the meaning of mental health and art and value one another beyond the color of our skin and appreciate our imagination and our unique qualities. I have a dream that one day Martin Luther King will be able to say in his present state and spirituality that he has contributed to the growth of community, of love, of family, and that we will celebrate each other continuously without putting each other down to compete to make it to the top, because as we said, we are together as equals. And to end it off, I have a dream that today you will follow me in joining me at 2:30 p.m. at Times Square, where we celebrate each other again through demonstration by standing next to each other and letting know that those who deliver hate, we do not stand for injustice, we do not stand for oppression, we do not stand for discrimination, that we love one another, and that we will stand as one common family and as the human race and celebrate what we have become, and that is a world full of diversity and love. I have a dream that I will see you at 2:30 p.m.
Please welcome to the stage our President and CEO, Mario Garcia Durham.
Can we have another round of applause for Nomadic, an amazing young man? Hello, everyone, and welcome to our annual award ceremony on this very, very important day. It is a time when we come together to celebrate the beliefs and values that we as the APAP community share, and to honor the contributions of individuals who have achieved so much on behalf of the field. With our name change to the Association of Performing Arts Professionals in 2017, we strive to be an even more all-inclusive community of professionals who are committed to championing the performing arts in communities across this nation and around the world. Before we begin the presentations, I wanted to thank once again IMG artists for their continuing support of our annual awards luncheon. And please join me in viewing a brief video from IMG artists in honor of their generous support. Thank you. Would the members of IMG artists please stand so we can acknowledge you? Thank you. You're all in the business. You know how important sponsorship is. Thank you so very, very, very much. I also wanted to take a moment and recognize our conference sponsors. Their generous support makes it possible for us to come together each January here in New York. As you can see on our screens, we have a range of sponsors, old and new, who we thank for their vital contributions to ensure a successful annual conference. Would the representatives of our sponsors listed on the screens please stand so we can give you a round of applause and appreciation. So please stand if you're a sponsor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Yes. Also, I would like to acknowledge the critical support for programs and operations that APAP receives from foundations and agencies as seen on the screen. Representatives from most of the organizations have joined us for today's events, and I would ask the foundation representatives who are here to please stand for a round of applause for all the work you do. At this time, I would like to make a special acknowledgement to the heroic work of the NEA Chairman, Dr. Jane Chu, who's joined us today. So, Dr. Chu, Chairman Chu, can you please stand, accept our thanks? Thank you for being such a champion. At this time as well, I would like to take a moment as we all gather as a presenting and professionals and arts community to honor the memory of the many treasured artists and members of our field who passed in 2017. Way too many who touched our lives have departed, but I especially want to remember a few of our colleagues. Tricia Brown, Eileen DeNoble, Bill Fabris, Dmitry Vodostovsky, Michael Friedman, Al Jarreau, Harvey Lichtenstein, Ebony McKinney, Alexandra Nova, and a dear soul, who I had the pleasure of working with at the NEA for many years, Pepper Smith, NEA Artist Communities Presenting Specialist. So please take a moment. Let's applaud them up in heaven wherever they are. Sorry. Life is short. In 2016, we established the Halsey and Alice North Award in honor of the continuing service to the field of our good friends and colleagues, the North. This award is made for outstanding and continuous contributions to the field and industry by former APAP board members. This year's award is a former APAP board member and the most wonderful person in the world, Mr. Ivan Sagoda, who many of you know. He's not here, but let's give him an applause to the universe. I told him we would do so. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge NEA Director Michael Orlov, who was awarded the Global Fest Impact Award last year. Michael, please stand. Congratulations. Great. So speaking of leadership, I want to introduce our new Director of Programs and Resources, Krista Bradley. Please welcome her.
Thank you, Mario. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, as we celebrate leaders and visionaries who have made significant contributions to the arts industry, APAP is proud to have a suite of leadership development programs that impact arts professional leadership and are helping to shape and redefine the future of our field. The first is our Young Performers Career Advancement Program, fondly known as YIPCA, which supports classical musicians in the formative stages of their careers through intense specialized sessions at APAP NYC, this conference, and through meetings with arts industry professionals that help them guide and develop their careers, develop goals, and network with key people in this room. It culminates in a special concert at Carnegie Hall, which is tonight, in the Vial Recital Hall. Our second program is the Emerging Leaders Institute, a program that is designed for emerging leaders who have 3 to 7 years under their belt, and it's a time for them to come also during the APAP conference for 2.5 intense days of networking and peer support that grounds their development in the field. And finally, but certainly not least, is our Leadership Fellows program, now 75 fellows strong. It is a program for mid-career professionals who are, some of whom are here, yes, who are already shaping the field now, and it's a 20-month program that we do in partnership with USC and our friends at the American Express Foundation and the NEA. This program is really a signature program of ours, and we already have seen the leadership that many of the fellows have demonstrated. Many of you have come to sessions today and over the course of our conference that they have shaped and developed. So let's give a round of applause for all of this, folks. I share this just to give you context that APAP is more than this wonderful convening, but we are making a significant difference in the careers of artists and individuals, some of whom will be shaping the world and changing the world as we see it. Thank you and enjoy your lunch.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Alicia Onstead.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to edit Inside Arts magazine for APAP, and in my other capacity, I work on another project. As some of you may remember, we conceived the 5 Minutes to Shine concept in conjunction with our 2014 conference theme, Shine. The aim is to showcase big ideas drawn from all sectors of our membership, bearing in mind the Wallace Foundation's 9 effective practices for engaging arts audiences. This morning, we hosted another round of 5 Minutes to Shine presentations. 6 members presenting 5-minute rapid-fire stories. I know there's an Andy Warhol joke in there somewhere. I don't think I'm going to get it to it today. And the audience selected a favorite to make the presentation here today to you at the awards luncheon. Before I introduce our presenter, please join me in celebrating all the 5 Minutes to Shine participants. If you would please stand, Lindsay Bostwick, Ronnie Pinoy, Celeste Smith, Megan Pagato-Wells, and Katie Ortman. It's such an honor to work with each one of these participants in telling their stories. And now it is my pleasure to introduce one of this morning's shining moments. Please welcome Kathy Weiss.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Monday. You made it this far. I'd like to acknowledge all the other contestants in the 5 Minutes to Shine. I wish you all much luck in the future with your beautiful stories. It was really great to be a participant, and I'm very honored to be here today. But this is my 5 Minutes to Shine. I'm ready, Steve-O. I used to work at a dude ranch, an all-inclusive place where city folks spend their vacation to pretend they're cowboys. The ranch sits on 20,000 acres in the high Sonoran Desert. That is how I came to live in Wickenburg, Arizona, a rural western community 65 miles northwest of Phoenix with a population of 7,800 people. I am now the executive director of the Deli Webb Center for the Performing Arts in that same small town. How that transition happened is a completely different story. But it is good to know that I have a background in theater and dance. At the Webb Center, we present music, dance, and theater. But we were really unsuccessful at attracting a dance audience, and I desperately wanted one. I had heard of a place in Florida where dance companies could visit for 2 weeks and focus on creating new dance, but it had closed. I began doing some research, and the farther I looked into this idea, the more consumed I became with the concept of an artist residency program. I wanted it to be a make-work residency, not a ton of outreach, just focus on building new work. It would fill a gap in the field by helping dance companies, and it would build an understanding of dance in my little western town. If I held the residency during the slow periods at the Dude Ranch, it would bring economic vitality to their business and in turn my community. I could not use my stage as a studio. It was busy presenting. I needed a different space. I located an empty warehouse near the Dude Ranch. It was once the manufacturing facility for all the telephone booths in North America. In the age of cell phones, to my good fortune, it was empty and available. All I needed was the equipment to build a studio. So we wrote some grants, we were funded, and done. 11 short months after the idea began, the Made in Wickenburg residency program was born. Each year we invite an entire dance company to Wickenburg for 2 weeks to create new work. The Dude Ranch spoils them with beautiful rooms and 3 gourmet meals a day. The warehouse studio became a sweet place to create work. After dancing all day, the company returns to the ranch and jumps into the hot tub, followed by happy hour and dinner. Evening activities are surrounded around the American West: horseshoes, line dancing in the barn, or campfires with a cowboy singer under a blanket of stars. Days off for the company include horseback riding, hiking, swimming, and even an occasional cow patty toss. Ew. In return for all this, we simply ask the company to open their studio doors for 2 afternoons and allow the public to view the process of creating a dance. At the conclusion of the residency, they must present some type of public performance. The Web Center raises the money to pay for the travel, dancer stipends, meals, lodging, studio space, and a small performance fee. In a field where I hear all too often that dance is too expensive to present and companies have difficulty touring, our little performing arts center in the middle of nowhere raises more money every year for dance than any genre in our body of work. Thank you. The outcomes of this work have exceeded all expectations. People in our community have a deep appreciation for the creation of new work. They've even traveled to New York and San Francisco to see the world premiere of a dance created in Wickenburg. Dance enthusiasts and students from all over Arizona attend our open rehearsals and performances. Each company may tell you that the Made in Wickenburg residency program is a gift. And as Bill T. Jones said live on our stage last year, and I quote, "This is the best residency I've ever experienced in my entire career." Our audience has grown in depth and in numbers. In 2009, we had over 6,000 audience members attend performances. Over 2,000 patrons attended outreach events, and 252 artists have participated in the program. Some of my favorite outcomes: our community has made room for performing artists to live and work in a cowboy town, and their work tours the world with the Made in Wickenburg name. Most importantly, the work created adds to the American portfolio of the performing arts. I am telling you this story today to encourage my colleagues to find a way to support the work of artists in this world. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you, Kathy. So we've actually built in a little 5-minute time for you to meet and greet and network and do all of that, and we'll be right back. Thank you. Oh, and those of you online, we're going to take a 5-minute break.
Ladies and gentlemen, our awards ceremony will resume momentarily. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage Mario Garcia Durham.
I said 5 minutes and it was 5 minutes, so I'm very happy about that. So our next award is named in honor of former Representative Sidney R. Yates, whose commitment to the arts is legendary and whose memory continues to serve as an inspiration to us all. The Yates Award is presented to an individual or an organization for a particular advocacy effort or for a sustained advocacy campaign at the national, state, or local level that has had a significant impact on the performing arts. This year's recipient, Carlton Turner, has been a true champion for democracy in the arts. Carlton has spent the last 13 years as the head of Alternate Roots in service to the Roots mission of supporting artists working at the intersection of arts and social justice. In that time, he has seen the organization grow its roots deeper in its founding principles, while the coverage of its canopy stretched wider to encompass more and more creatives. Carlton has left Alternate Roots, but being the person that he is, he will now focus on investing more in his local community through the Mississippi Center for Cultural Production. I have had the pleasure of serving with Carlton on many boards and committees over the past years. Listening to him was a constant learning for me. We are all blessed that he is an individual who loves to serve. Rarely in my professional career have I had the privilege of knowing such a kind, generous, and wise soul. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Carlton Turner.
Thank you. I want to start with the recognition of the indigenous people whose occupied land we stand on. Thank you to the Association of Performing Arts Professionals. Thank you to the staff and members of Alternate Roots, and thank you to my family. I am here because they are. Today, along with these awards, we honor and recognize the work of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. His legacy of fighting for dignity as a human right is more important today than ever. In April, it will have been 50 years since he was assassinated by the state for his dreams. Those of us gathered here today have the luxury of working in a field that helps to shape the public imagination. Our work is meant to inspire curiosity, risk-taking, and resistance of all forms of intolerance, and inspire a world that lives beyond hate and injustice. We are actively shaping the future every day. We are the caretakers of the dream. I am thankful for this opportunity to accept this award in the spirit of all the singers, musicians, actors, dancers, performers, agents, managers, and other arts professionals that are using their voice and platform to struggle against oppression and fight for the freedom of this and every next generation. I challenge each of us here to embody the legacy of King by speaking truth to power and living a life that bends the arc of the universe further towards justice. Remember, the question has never been whether or not we have the talent to change the world, but whether we have the will to do so. I would like to end with a quote by King. "Whatever career you may choose for yourself, let me propose an avocation to be pursued along with it. Become a dedicated fighter for civil rights. Make it a central part of your life. It will enrich your spirit as nothing else possibly can. It will give you that rare sense of nobility that can only spring from love and senselessly helping your fellow man. Make a career of humanity. Commit yourself to the noble struggle for human rights. You will make a greater person of yourself, a greater nation of your country, and a finer world to live in." Thank you.
We also want to send our best to Michelle Ramos, the new leader of Alternate Roots, whose first day is today. It's a good omen. Our next award is the William Dawson Award for Programmatic Excellence and Sustained Achievement in Programming. This year's recipient is Global Fest. I love the words of Anastasia Solkas in writing about Global Fest. This annual event, held at Manhattan's Webster Hall, is where industry insiders and cool hunters alike ferret out the next big global music acts on the touring circuit. The buzz about bands playing on this single winter night form the vanguard of what you're going to be watching at festivals and at venues across the country over the next couple of years. That is so true. Global Fest and the work of its amazing team have literally changed the landscape of the music we present. So at this time, please welcome Bill Bragan, Isabel Sofer, and Shanta Tate. Please come to the stage.
This is exciting. Thank you so much to Mario and the board of APAP and the APAP community, the award committee, and the nominators. This is really an incredible honor, and we're humbled. We first want to acknowledge the people without whom Global Fest would not have been gotten off the ground. Co-founder and original partner Maury Aronson from World Music Crash Arts. Emmanuel Morlaix, who came on board as a major supporter in his former role as at Cultural Services at the French Embassy when Global Fest was just an untested idea. To Sandra Gibson from APAP, who embraced our first edition as the opening night of the 2004 conference, and the team, and to our team and Brain Trust from the start, Matthew Covey, and everyone at our Visa advocates, Tommy's.dot. Dimitri Vitsa and Rock, Paper, Scissors for publicity, and Danny Kapilian and his amazing production team who've turned our vision into a reality, and all of the artists who have graced the stages and presenting communities for supporting. A huge thanks to Nicole Merritt-Chari, who just moved on after 3 years as our producer and general manager, Caitlin Falk-Won for leading our fundraising efforts, and Stephanie Orentas, Rana Uladu, and all of the previous staff who've helped us to build Global Fest. Sorry. And our partners and spouses and families who have been so generous.
Global Fest began with an urgent idea: to create opportunities for artists from diverse cultural and artistic perspectives whether visiting as cultural ambassadors from other parts of the world or based in the U.S. as immigrants, as the children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren of immigrants, or as the descendants of the First Nations of our lands, to share their traditions, their ideas, and their art with communities all across the country. It's moving to receive this award on a day where we celebrate the legacy and vision of Dr. Martin Luther King, and to paraphrase a great civil rights leader, although probably not as well as Nomadic did, we have a dream that one day all rooms will feel like Global Fest felt last night and every night for the past 15 years. Places where diverse people can come together and not have to make a case that we're all the same, but rather where people can bring their unique perspectives and cultural histories into the room, and where we can celebrate this dynamic not as a source of division, but as a source of strength, unity, empathy, and of personal and collective growth. Also, in my personal dream, it's about 45 degrees warmer.
15 years ago, we wanted to create a catalyst, and we're grateful that the field has embraced this vision. To combat closing borders and move world music closer to the center of the field by bringing arts professionals community into a space where we could see bands from around the world in a context that felt universal. There would be drinking, there would be fans, there would be drinking. We would be 3 volunteer co-directors who represent 3 diverse perspectives in the field, working with the hope that we would be able to open new marketplaces and the urgent cultural diplomacy that would then happen in venues across the country. The result has been more than we could have ever dreamed. We've programmed stages in Paris, South by Southwest, Lincoln Center, Bonnaroo. We are working on our 2nd national tour with IMG artists. We established the first Global Fest Awards. And most importantly, we have reintroduced or introduced over 180 bands, nearly 2,000 individual artists to the US touring market who had otherwise never been able to take that risk. Through the Ford Foundation, the NEA, the City of New York, Cultures of Resistance, and hundreds of individual crowdfunding donors, and so many others, we established a touring fund that has given out over $100,000 to over 30 bands to perform in more than 140 new markets. We hired an actual full-time employee to work alongside the 3 of us who have worked as volunteers for 15 years. We co-founded the Wavelengths Pre-Conference to create an open space and entry point for more conversations around culturally diverse programming throughout the field. We've helped spearhead the movement that took artists out of hotel ballrooms to the public of New York City, followed in subsequent years by Winter Jazz Fest, Under the Radar, Prototype, and so many others, turning the city into a massive multi-arts festival now dubbed Jan Arts NYC. 15 years later, borders are wide open and xenophobia is over. Just kidding. The work is still vital, the artists are still transformative, and we are excited about what the future holds for this field of global music, just as we are terrified about what the future holds without it. And yet, as we stand before you, our key foundation support is sunsetting, and we are thanking you for recognizing our contribution while recognizing that it is time to dream in a new way, with new voices, new funders, new models in a new world that continues to revert to old ideas. We want to bring in the next generation of leaders and help us to continue this essential work. We hope you will join us in our dream. Thank you again for this deeply meaningful recognition.
Bravo, absolutely. And now to the moment when we present the Association's Award of Merit to honor an individual whose genius, energy, and excellence have defined or redefined an art form for today's audience. To introduce this year's recipient, please welcome Mr. Darren Walker, President of the Ford Foundation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am thrilled, delighted on this auspicious, historic day to be here to present the Award of Merit from APAP. Since 1959, this organization has awarded this distinction to an individual whose genius, energy, and excellence have had a profound and lasting impact on the performing arts. And today, on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the birth of Martin Luther King Jr., I cannot think of a better person to receive this award than my friend Arthur Mitchell. Raised in Harlem, a son of Harlem, Arthur Mitchell began his dance training at New York City's High School of the Performing Arts. At the age of 18, he was awarded a full scholarship to continue his classical ballet training at the famed School of American Ballet. And in 1955, under the direction of George Balanchine, Arthur Mitchell became the first African-American male to be a member of New York City Ballet. He quickly rose to fame as a principal dancer of that great company and is best known for many roles, but it's the role that he danced, the pas de deux with Diane Adams in Agon, that captured the imagination of the public. There were many roles that Mr. Balanchine choreographed with Arthur Mitchell in mind. His success at the company led to an invitation by the U.S. International Association to travel to Rio to start the National Ballet Company of Brazil. But then tragedy struck. The news of Dr. King's assassination in 1968 galvanized Arthur Mitchell to return home, return to Harlem, where he could use his energies, vision, and artistic genius to play a signature role in his own community and ultimately transform our understanding of art and activism. He began teaching children living in Harlem in a remodeled garage in the summer of '68, and he, in that summer, amassed over 400 students. There was hunger for Dance Theater of Harlem. In 1969, he and his mentor, Carol Shook, took their personal savings with support from the Ford Foundation, the heiress Alva Gimbel. They founded Dance Theater of Harlem, and under his direction, DTH rose to become one of the premier ballet companies in the United States and indeed in the world, performing full-length neoclassical ballets nationally and internationally from 1971. Now, today, a singular presence in the ballet world, the Dance Theater of Harlem Company tours nationally and internationally, presenting a powerful vision for ballet in the 21st century. The 16-member multi-ethnic company performs a forward-thinking repertoire that includes treasured classics by Mr. B, but also work by new choreographers who celebrate African American culture. So through performance, community engagements, and art education, DTH continues to carry forward Mr. Mitchell's great legacy, enduring a message, a very enduring message, that art matters, that art makes it possible for us to have justice in society. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the inimitable, indefatigable, original Arthur Mitchell.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, this is wonderful. My gosh. Thank you. Thank you so much. I can't begin to tell you how nervous I am. You think I was presenting trying to get a job.
But the thing is, I think of all the years I spent in preparation to go to APAP and try to get some bookings. It was mind-boggling. But today I'm here at another purpose. But the thing is that I'm very pleased, I'm very proud, and very honored to be honored by APAP. But it's an entity that keeps us alive and keeps the arts alive. And so don't let this fool you. It is, I had my hip replaced, dancers, and the leg is coming in 2 inches shorter than the other one. So that's why the cane. But other than that, I'm fine, I'm healthy, I'm very happy. And I've got a lot of initiatives. A lot of initiatives that I really want to, again, put into place. The first will be my Harlem initiative, to bring the arts back to Harlem that used to be used all the time. So I'll start with the Schoenberg, the Studio Museum, the Acting Company, and then Performing Arts Library. But my dream is to go on tour to the historical black colleges and raise dance from a minor to a major. The saying that I have, the arts ignite the mind. They give you the possibility to dream and hope. And I think that is the thing that everyone needs today, is hope. Technology abounds, but we've got to bring the individual up. And so consequently, I've been working through the Ford Foundation, which was wonderful, in terms of finding and raising some new African-American ballerinas. And the thing is, I've toured the company looking for young people that have the talent but need the training. And it's been through the Ford Foundation that I've been able to do this. And it's very exciting. I think Misty Copeland is wonderful, but there are at least a dozen more that need that opportunity. So that all of our major companies should have at least one African-American ballerina, then a Chinese one, then an Indian one. That is what America is made of. We all came from someplace else, but we live here and we are American. So with this award, it gives me a little more push to keep doing what I believe in. And so consequently, I'm gonna give a little plug for myself right now. When you have a moment, go to the new building, Landfest on 125th Street. The exhibition just opened up on my life. I had forgotten I'd done all of that. I'm 83 years old, and I've been dancing for over 60 years. But the exhibition shows the possibility of what can be done. And where there's a will, there's a way, and you must stick at it. So I tell all the young people, never, ever let anyone tell you what you can't do. Smile, be nice, then go ahead and do it. But I'm going to start on my home ground, which was Harlem. I was born on 113th Street and Lenox Avenue. And that's why I gave my archive to Columbia. Because if you go west, I keep telling them, you people are part of Harlem. And you must go there and help and give these young people a chance to do and become whatever they want to be. And so consequently, when you have a moment, go and see and said, you know, it's not bad. Mitchell, that is not bad. But the thing is that it's important that we work with the major educational institutions and make them accept all of the arts, give them the skill, the training with which they need in order to become professionals. So I'm not going to say much more, but thank you very much for honoring me this afternoon. And I want to thank APAP for having me come back. But I'll be back next year to audition with my junior company to get some jobs. But it's a never-ending process. But I'm very happy and I'm very pleased. And again, Thank you very, very much. Don't be shy. I'm going to keep Thank you, Darren.
How can we not give another round of applause to Arthur Mitchell? That is fantastic. And for our next presentation, please welcome the President of the North American Performing Arts Managers and Agents, Mr. David Wannen. David, please. David. There we go.
Happy APAP, everybody. North American Performing Arts Managers and Agents serves the best interests of agent managers, artists, and presenters in the field by building and sharing knowledge and developing best practices. Our favorite time of year is this day, when we honor presenter and agent manager colleagues who live these practices and serve the field as role models of excellence. NAPAMA celebrates our colleagues' achievement in the crafts of presenting and artist representation, their track record of mentoring others, and their commitment to promoting diversity, creating equity, and practicing inclusion. NAPAMA believes that Brett Batterson, President and CEO of the Orpheum Theater Group, Memphis, is the embodiment of a performing arts all-star. Brett was born into the industry, a son of a puppeteer and a promoter. Brett was a child actor who cut his teeth working in every aspect of the theater. He received his master's degree in scenic design from Tulane University before becoming a presenter who has had the opportunity to celebrate artists from every genre of the performing arts. Brett has served the field with Opera America, Dance USA, and the Broadway League. His 20-plus year career includes co-founding Enrich Chicago, a coalition of arts leaders committed to bringing racial equity to arts management, and is the founder of Memphis Cultural Coalition. In his current position at the Orpheum, Brett demonstrated bravery, ending a tradition of annually presenting the film Gone with the Wind, boldly putting a stop to a non-inclusive practice in a community that struggled with change. A dedicated mentor, Brett is most proud of the many colleagues he has mentored and their careers that blossom in front of his eyes, like a proud coach who witnesses his ball players' success. I'm honored to present the NAPAMA Award for Presenter of the Year 2017 to this Performing Arts All-Star, Brett Batterson.
Thank you. Thank you, David, very much. I'm honored and humbled and flattered. I want to thank NAPAMA. I want to thank David for his leadership. I want to thank Tim Robinson of the Paul Taylor Dance Company for nominating me and all of those board members of NAPAMA who decided that I was worthy of this high honor. I thank you. My name is on the award, but I think it should be recognized that it goes to the entire Orpheum Theater Group, and I have two colleagues here. I want to recognize Ron Jewell and Jennifer McGrath that are here joining me. Please give them a big round of applause. And of course, my family's here as well, and I thank them for all they've done to support me in this hard work. I just have to tell you what an honor it is to follow Mr. Mitchell. Virginia Johnson and I figured out when I had Dance Theater of Harlem in Memphis that we believe I'm the only presenter to present the company in 3 different major American cities, Detroit, Chicago, and Memphis. And that's something I'm very proud of, and I'm honored to follow you today. You know, it's not lost on me today is MLK Day, and it's not lost on me that I run an arts institution that is a mere 4 blocks from the site of the Lorraine Motel. So I hope, as we gather this week, and the leader of our country disparages other nations as being inferior, I hope that all of us as presenters are looking for a Haitian singer or a Nigerian dance company. I hope Because I believe it is the arts, and the performing arts especially, that can bring hope to this world, that can build bridges and not walls, that can make some beauty in a sometimes ugly world. So I thank you for giving me this honor. I'm flattered to be here, and I want to close by inviting you all to Memphis this spring for what we are doing as arts organizations citywide, and there's many of them in this room, to remember the 50th anniversary of one of America's greatest tragedies, which happened at the Lorraine Motel on April 4th, 1968. The remembrance is entitled MLK 50, Where Do We Go From Here? You all are welcome. There's programming from now through the end of April and beyond. So come to Memphis. It's a great town. We're learning from our past. We're celebrating our future. And I thank you again for allowing me to address you. Thank you.
2 years ago, we lost a dear friend and colleague, Liz Silverstein of Siegel Artist Management. We all miss Liz's smile, her work for the field, and her friendship. We honor Liz's spirit and care for others, her service to NAPAMA, and her commitment to mentoring with the Liz Silverstein Award for Agent Manager of the Year. Now, our recipient today adopted a great motto for getting through APAP 2018. It's hashtag, what would Liz Silverstein do? Pam Green, founder and president of PMG Arts Management, began her love of the performing arts singing in church choir and being inspired by her sister's dancing. Majoring in public policy and minoring in theater at Duke University, she found her calling producing for African American groups on campus. Pam launched her career with Chuck Davis's African American Dance Ensemble, and Pam served as director of touring and presenting for North Carolina Arts Council before founding PMG Arts Management in 1992. Pam has been a curator of our field in so many capacities. Just to name a few, Pam served 9 years on the APAP board, 2 years with the Executive Committee of NAPAMA, 6 years with the National Dance Project, 3 years with the Durham Cultural Advisory Board, and 3 years with the American Dance Festival Board. Pam makes an annual practice of mentoring 3 mentees along a journey of knowledge sharing. She is currently serving with NAPAMA on the Performing Arts Connect Committee, exploring career pathways of the performing arts with underserved students. One of the many ways Pam promotes diversity is showcasing of female African American choreographers, including her work with Diane McIntyre, the Embodiment Project. Pam is a force for creating racial equity in the arts, and NAPAMA celebrates her courage and her commitment to challenging the industry to promote people of color as presenters, agent managers, artists, and all roles of the performing arts. Pam, please keep doing what you do, inspiring and guiding us in a way that you know your friend Liz would be proud of today. NAPAMA is thrilled to present the Liz Silverstein Award for Agent Manager of the Year 2017 to Pamela Green.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna spend my 3 minutes up here crying. Thank you, David. That was so lovely. I want to first thank God. I am a faithful person. And when David called me to give me the news, I was in church. I sent him a text. I was like, "What you want?" So thank you, David, and my apologies for the sanctified response. I want to thank NAPAMA, the nominators, and the board for this great honor. I'd like to thank my late mother, Dorothy. Her birthday would have been tomorrow. She was a nurse, and she taught me how to care. My father, Bob, he taught me work ethic. He could hold on to $1 harder than anybody I know. My sister Joyce, as David mentioned, and who's here with me today, for taking me to dance classes and rehearsals. She was a wonderful dancer, continues to be a wonderful dancer. My brother Bob for taking me to see Alvin Ailey for my 16th birthday. Bob is also here. My brother Jerry for being my first assistant at PMG Arts Management and one of my dearest friends. My assistant Dana, who, you know, has been working with me for 2.5 years and is incredible. Thank you, Dana. My son Isaac II and my daughter Annika, who often man the showcases and help me out at APAP as well. If you've ever felt any love in the PMG brand, or I'm like, damn, she acts like she's a little spoiled, I hope so. Because I have an absolutely amazing husband who I've been married to for 28 years, and his name is Isaac. Baby, I love you so much. Thank you so much for that. I'd like to thank my artists, because helping carry their creativity forward is what I have been blessed to do for the past 25 years. My current roster includes Ronald K. Brown Evidence, Camille A. Brown and Dancers, Rosie Herrera Dance Theater, and Rosie is here. Thank you, Rosie, for being here. Philadanko, Helen Simino, and Nina Freelon when she steps outside to do some special projects. My first roster included Chuck Davis, African American Dance Ensemble. And as many of you know, Chuck left us in May of 2017, and he is everything to me. Cleopatra Robinson Dance Ensemble and Dalton Hartel Dance. As David also mentioned, I have used my dance platform to host guest artists of color. And MLK Day today at 2 o'clock, not 2:15 as it says in the bulletin. Diane McIntyre and the Embodiment Project, and will be showcasing in Studio 4. After that, Claire Porter and Sarah Julie are also performing, so please check them out too. I would love to thank my presenters and communities and colleagues. There's too many to mention. I've been doing this for 25 years. We would be here to the end of the luncheon if I tried to name everybody and I would forget somebody, and that would be devastating. But I've tried to let you know in many, many ways, including distribution of the pins and emails and all of that. Thank you guys so much. It has just been such an honor to work with you and to work with your communities. I could not be prouder as an individual with African and Haitian blood coursing through my veins, and more challenged as a citizen of the United States of America. I received 3 things on my journey, and I would love to share those with you and ask you to please share those with any people of color. Anybody that wants to put their toe in the water for this field, push them, right? But certainly for people of color. Affirmation. There were many of you in the room, and those who are not in the room, and some who have gone on to heaven, who told me that they thought I had some potential, that they thought I could be a leader when I was in my 20s, and that was really, really important, you know. And if you see that in someone, please tell them, please speak it to them. Benefit of the doubt, don't let HR stop everything if they're not quite right. Hire them anyway and teach them what they need to know, right? And second chances. Once you hire them again. And I'm going to call a couple of names here quickly. I want to thank Charles Reinhardt and the late Stephanie Reinhardt and Nancy Trevelyan. And I actually did start my career off before at the American Dance Festival, and Jody is here too. And I want to thank the ADF because they've been instrumental in my career. Gregory Porter is one of my very favorite jazz singers. And I'm going to quote some of his lyrics before I go. How did we ever lose our minds and fall apart, knowing we're the only ones to heal each other's hearts? Bring your love on back to me. Stop this insanity before we go too far. Let's go further, keep dreaming, and let love win. Thank you.
Wonderful. Our final award, as you know, is very special because it honors the extraordinary vision and commitment of APAP's founder, Fan Taylor. Here to present the award is last year's recipient, the amazing Miss Mickey Shepard. Mickey?
Since I'm the last presenter, I get to say a few things other than what I'm going to do. I'm supposed to be up here for anyway. First, I want to congratulate all this year's awardees. Then I want to just say congratulations to Bill Bregan and to Pam Green, because these have been colleagues of mine in the field for a very long time. And then I want to give a special congratulations to the one and only Arthur Mitchell. You know, we all know he's a legend, but for many of us, African American administrators, presenters, artists, he's been a role model for us. He was one of the first international arts activists, and we thank you, Arthur. And then I want to thank Darren Walker, first for coming here and honoring Mr. Mitchell, but also because Darren, in his work at the Ford Foundation, his work at the Rockefeller Foundation, his work at the Abyssinian Development Corporation, has always been on the right track. We thank him for his support of DTH in its infancy, but today as well, almost 50 years later. And we thank him for his support of Arthur Mitchell and Mr. Mitchell's archives. It's because of Darren Walker and the Ford Foundation that the archives are at Columbia University. So let me just say that. But it's my great privilege today to present the Fan Taylor Award in 2018 to two individuals who have worked together to produce an extraordinary body of work and play a vital role in introducing American artistic voices with critical ideas to domestic and international audiences. Today's award recipients are recognized for successfully bringing to life the work of non-traditional artists who tackle complex subject matter, experiment with form, and push the cultural conversation forward in society. Over the years, they demonstrated their ability to carefully select unique and very diverse artists, some whose careers flourished because of their affiliations with our two awardees. They have been called angels and saviors by the artists they represent. They help artists realize their dreams. Their accomplishments are many, and of course, in the arts, we look at quality first, but we have to talk about the quantity of work that they have delivered over 23 years. They produced 47 new multidisciplinary performing arts works with more than 400 artists from New York City, from the United States, and from around the world. They produced over 70 national tours in 42 United States and 16 countries, introduced audiences in New York City and across the United States to artists from 25 countries in Asia, from Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Caribbean, devised numerous formats for local public engagement, and nurtured presenters nationwide in replicating those activities for their communities. They co-founded and managed 5 international exchange programs, raised and managed over $8 million for artist projects, and published important reports on their work with artists and their presenting partners. Their colleagues deeply admire them for their dedication and commitment to producing high-quality, demanding work, and their ability to provide the necessary care, nurturing, and advocacy of their artists. They're also highly regarded because they've always worked on the cutting edge, seeking new and innovative ways to undertake their work. One central goal in this effort was to find ways for the public to more fully appreciate artists and their critical role in the world. I personally want to thank them for the grace and respect they brought to their interactions with presenting partners. On behalf of many presenter colleagues, we want you to know that your absence in the field has left a void. I am honored to present the 2018 Fan Taylor Distinguished Service Award for exemplary service to the field of professional presenting to two extraordinary women, Ann Rosenthal and Kathy Zimmerman Mack.
Thank you. Well, you know, thank you so much. This is really amazing. And, you know, I've come to an age when, you know, you never know when you're going to get an award. So I always carry some remarks just in case. Should have thought of that. So I'd just like to share a little bit about why I came to do this work and what I hope to accomplish. I grew up in a big family in a white middle-class Philadelphia neighborhood, and what I saw and knew of the world outside of that circle came from public school textbooks and the news as filtered through TV, my parents and my older brothers. It was a pretty privileged and insulated environment. And then in college, I discovered art, and later performance art and poetry and dance and theater, and the world cracked open for me. I was blown away by how these artists I was seeing reflected and interpreted the times we were living in. And my journey following and supporting their ideas, their take on the world, and doing whatever I could to give them a platform to be heard and to be witnessed, developed into a career, and after a number of years led to MAP. One project fueled another, and I had opportunities to connect with artists, not only from this country and Europe, but from many parts of the world that had been previously forbidden to me, like Cuba and China and the Congo and South Africa and many places. And then myths and stereotypes and sound bites about each of these places was ripped apart. These were not dangerous enemies. These were not ravaged outsiders from war-torn countries. These were not victims seeking our pennies and our pity. These were complex, fascinating, brilliant human beings who inspired me and deepened my thinking and broadened my understanding of life. I was filled with conviction that if I could share those voices and perspectives and their art with others here in the US, our society could be enriched. And I created MAP to enable me to do that. And at the same time, I wanted the flexibility that my husband Arnie and I wanted to raise our daughter, Izzy, who was then just a year old. So I thought creating my own organization would be, allow that to happen. Throughout her childhood and youth, she was surrounded by artists, writers, and musicians from near and far, and they became her friends, her mentors, and later her employers. This was her daily life and her education, and she emerged a world traveler, ever curious about other ways of life, and a compassionate young woman with an open heart, eager to embed herself in other cultures, to absorb and to give back. And MAP grew and flourished through the work and efforts and partnership of so many people, including Kathy, who we worked together for 18 years, felt like a lifetime, and to all of the people who worked on the MAP staff and dedicated their creativity and their passion and brought that to influence where MAP would go. And it grew because of the confidence that artists had in us and trusting us to bring their ideas to the world, and the trust and confidence of our presenter partners who, for the most part, believed that we would get the work to the stage on budget or just a little bit over. But a few years ago, I felt like it was time for me to move on and pass MAP on to new visions. And it worked for a few years, thanks in great to close last June. And at this time, I also grieve really painfully Izzy's death, just as she was spreading her wings a year and a half ago. But I want you to know that this award and this recognition today from all of you lets some light through. And I really thank you for that. And it affirms to me that MAP and organizations like MAP do make a difference and do change lives and do make the world a better place. So thank you. I am really deeply honored.
That was really beautiful, Anne. Thank you. I didn't bring my notes, but it's very stunning to be here today. with all of you. I've traveled and had such life experiences with so many people in and outside this room, seeing the work and experiencing the lives and cultures of artists living all over the world, including Cuba and Africa and Portugal and so many other places. And those experiences are indelibly marked in my being, and I feel incredibly grateful to have had those experiences with so many of you. I've been talking to some colleagues, remembering some trips that we've taken and some of the really great times and some of the really challenging times, and there's nothing like that experience. I'm so thankful that Anne tapped me to be her partner a long, long time ago, and to carry the vision and leadership forward, the vision that she started and that I feel really proud of, the fact that we stuck to our guns in terms of honoring the values of our organization. I'm so privileged that so many amazing artists trusted us with their vision. Ralph Lemon, Lars Jan, beloved Sekou Sundiata, so many others, Okuyak Pakusili, and that they trusted us to usher their vision forward into the world is truly an honor. I'm proud of the work that we did at MAP, and I feel that we set a core belief system to which we stay true to. One of those is the belief in artists as important, critical thought leaders in our field, that they're central to American public life, that they are crucial in furthering democratic practices, and that exploration and the work that we've had and with all the artists all over the world have, for me, opened my life, my worldview, and changed my heart forever. In this next phase of my life, as I'm exploring the adjacent possibilities, a term I borrow from Liz Lerman, it's appropriate for me right now. I feel really proud, and I feel sustained by the efforts that Anne and I and so many amazing committed staff put forward. I feel that I'm blanking. I feel really honored to have one of those possibilities open up to me in terms of the APAP's Leadership Fellows Program. And it has soothed me and been a balm for me as I realize MAP has stepped aside and there's room for these amazing people who are coming behind us, who are marching and who have incredible commitment and really strong voices, and they're going to be heard. And I think we've done a lot of people imagined us in this place we are right now, but we can imagine ourselves out of it. And we have to imagine ourselves out of it. And this next generation, they're going to help us do that. And who better than our artists to help imagine that? And who better than all of us to lift up those voices and provide that narrative that is towards a more just and kinder world. So I want to, I am very grateful and thankful for this award. It's an incredible recognition. I'm thankful to my family who's here and all of you, as Anne said, who partnered with us to make our dreams and the artists' dreams come true. And I thank APAP for this. And
Well, ladies and gentlemen, so ends our luncheon. I wish you all well and have a fantastic 2018. Thank you very, very much.
Don't forget to attend this afternoon's professional development sessions and the expo hall. This evening, don't miss the Yipka recital at Carnegie Hall at 6 p.m. sharp. And join us tomorrow for our closing session with Bassem Youssef.